Hello everybody. In this video, I will give an update on my portfolio and show you all of my positions. Let's get started. Right now my portfolio is worth $247,080.63. In the past year, I am up $92,506.69. Year to date for the year 2025, I am up $88,754.40. And today I was up a lot. I had a green day today. I was up $5,403.10. Let's go over my positions. For my options, I'm selling Amazon $255 covered calls. These expire November 28. My return $1,584. I'm selling Delta Airlines $57 covered calls. These expire November 28. My return $2,490. I'm selling Google $280 covered calls. These expire November 28. My return, I am down $1,065.99. I'm selling Robinhood $125 covered calls. These expire November 28. My return, $9,190. I'm selling SoFi $35 covered calls. These expire November 28. My return, $4,416. For my cryptocurrencies, I have Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and Avalanche. These are free rewards I got from Robinhood's New Year event last New Year. For my stocks, I have 2,000 shares of Robinhood. Robinhood is at $133.44. My average cost, $135.72. My return, I am down $4,551.50. I have 6,400 shares of SoFi. SoFi is at $31.12. My average cost, $5.70. My return, $162,698.05. I have 300 shares of Google. Google is at $293.37. My average cost, $240.45. My return, $15,875.85. I have 300 shares of Amazon. Amazon is at $250.63. My average cost, $219.10. My return, $9,459. I have 1,000 shares of Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines is at $57.82. My average cost, $56.64. My return, $1,175.07. This is a margin account. My margin buffer is 37.51%. My margin buffer indicates how close I am to a margin call. The higher your buffer percentage, the lower risk of getting a margin call. So I'm at 37.51%. I feel like that's, far away enough from getting a margin call, so I feel pretty safe right now. My margin used is $406,965.04, so I'm using over $400,000 of margin. My margin available is $78,651.02. This is basically how much buying power I have in my margin account. For the interest I am paying, the annual rate is 4.75%. The daily interest that I am paying is $53.56, and I'm using $1,000 of margin interest free. So Robinhood, it seems like they've changed the way that margin works on Robinhood, which is why I have much higher buying power than I used to. That's how I'm able to use over $400,000 of margin at the moment. Now, I think I will put this other $78,000 in use, probably some more in the money covered calls. I think there was a question left on a comment recently asking me, why do I do in the money covered calls instead of out of the money? So let's say, for example, Robinhood actually is a good example, okay? So Robinhood reported earnings recently, and I think the price changed. All right, so let's say the price went up to $150, right? This was on October 31st. So Robinhood was at $150. If I had chosen a strike price of $160 for my covered call, I would be down overall right now, right? I would be at a loss overall with that covered call position and my shares. However, at this point, when Robinhood was at 150, if I did a $125 strike price instead, right? If I sold the $125 covered call, which is already lower than the share price, then I would still be at a profit. Because the way covered calls work is that if your underlying share is above the strike price at expiration, you end up making the same profit regardless, right? As long as it's above that number. So Robinhood, if I did a $125 covered call, as long as Robinhood is above $125 per share at expiration, it's the same overall profit regardless. However, if I had chosen a strike price of $160 and then Robinhood goes down to $133, guess what? That does affect my profit and loss, because overall I would be down money if I chose a strike price of 160 as opposed to 125. But because I chose a strike price of 125, like I did, the way this works is that as long as Robinhood stays above $125 till expiration, I make the same profit regardless. And it could go down to $130, $128, $126. It can keep on going down from here. Right now, Robinhood's at 133. But if it goes down to, 130, 128, 126, I still make a profit even when it goes down. As long as it stays above 125, I make the same profit regardless. And that is why sometimes I do in the money covered calls, is because even as the underlying share goes down in price, I still end up with a profit. But if I had chosen a strike price of 160 and then Robinhood goes down and down and down, I would actually lose money. I would actually lose money if I had chosen a strike price of 160 as opposed to 125 like I did. So yeah. Now, the other side to that is that that's only what happens if Robinhood were to go down. If Robinhood were to go up, then I would lose out on money. So let's say that Robinhood's at 133 right now, right? Let's say that it did not drop to 133. Let's say that Robinhood goes up to $200. If that were the case, then I would actually make more money if I had chosen a strike price of 160 versus a strike price of 125. If I choose a higher strike price, I would end up with a bigger profit if Robinhood were to go up and up and up to 200. So it depends on what you're talking about. It depends on where Robinhood goes, right? How low does it go? How high does it go? And there's no way to tell that ahead of time. How am I supposed to know where exactly what the Robinhood share price will be before November 28th? I don't know that. So nobody knows that ahead of time. There's no possible way of knowing what the Robinhood share price will be on November 28th. There's no way of knowing. So for you to ask, why don't you do this instead of that? There's pros and cons to everything. If you do it one way, there's going to be pros and cons. If you choose a higher strike price, there's going to be pros and cons. If you choose a lower strike price, there's going to be pros and cons. There's no perfect solution in everything. There's no way of doing things to where you'll get the highest profit no matter what. That's not the case. There's trade-offs, right? No matter what you do, there's going to be trade-offs. There's going to be good and bad. So you have to really understand what you're doing and then choose, okay, which trade-offs am I okay with? What pros and cons am I willing to accept, right? So the reason why I went with $125 strike price for Robinhood is because I am willing to accept the good and the bad. I'm willing to accept the pros and the cons of choosing a $125 strike price. If it does go up to $200 per share, I accept that. I accept that ahead of time that I'm going to lose out on money if that were to happen. Right? So because I've accepted the pros and cons, I've already accepted the good and bad at the time that I opened this covered call, and I'm okay with whatever happens because, that's something you have to decide, in my opinion, that's something you have to decide before you even decide to sell these covered calls. You have to really be honest with yourself in what you're willing to accept. I feel like some people, they get into things without actually accepting the good and the bad. And I think that should be avoided. When you do covered calls, you have to accept that there's a good side to it and there's a bad side to it. There's advantages, disadvantages, and you have to accept that. So there's pros and cons no matter what you do. You choose a higher strike price, you choose a lower strike price. At the end of the day, you have to figure out what are you willing to do, right? What are you willing to accept? And then make a decision. And that is the decision that I made. And I'm happy with it. All right. Overall, my performance this year, I'm at 246, almost at the 250 mark. And it's not even the end of the year yet. It's still November. We still got a month and a half left to go of the year. And do I think I can end up at 250K or above by the end of the year? Considering I'm already at 247K now, I think it's possible. Especially if I do more covered calls with the buying power that I have and then gain more profit out of that. I think it's possible. Unless there's a huge crash or something. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep on making more updates to let you guys know what happens with my portfolio, but so far this year, oh my goodness, it has been a phenomenal year for me. Close to $90,000 profit this year so far. Wow. I mean, yeah, it's mind-boggling sometimes when I think about it. How much money I've made in profit and how much it's changed my life, honestly. I should make it like a separate video about that. I don't think I should just mention that in a portfolio update. I feel like that deserves its own video. How my gains have changed my life, really. The way I go about things now is different because I have this much money in my portfolio, because I've gained so much. It's changed the way I've gone about things in my life. So I'll probably make another video about that later, but for now, that's pretty much it for my portfolio update. I'll let you guys know if I change anything, if I add anything, if I remove anything, but for now, that's pretty much it. If you guys like this type of content, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll keep on making more of these videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.